Hi friends, it's Lori and welcome to Main Street Gardener. So if you are new to my channel, I'm a garden in Zone 7B outside the DC area. But today I am actually down in Charleston, South Carolina. And I'm sitting on this gorgeous porch and it is a beautiful sunny day. It's going to get into the high 60s today and I'm so excited. But I thought this morning I would come out and have my iced tea and just talk to you a little bit. I had asked in the community group about questions that you might have. I wanted to do a Q&A video. So I've gotten so many questions over the past year of my YouTube channel. And so today I want to cover first a little bit about me and my gardening. I want to talk to you about my shed. I've gotten so many questions about my little shed, so I'm going to focus on that for a minute. And I thought I would talk to you about what's going to be new for this coming garden season, so you can get excited about some of the projects that I have. So first and foremost, I have been around gardens since I was a little girl. My mom loves to garden. She is an avid gardener. Um, they used to have a farm, vegetables, not really a farm, a garden, like vegetable garden. I grew up in this, they just had this huge vegetable garden. My grandparents, of course, grew up on farms, and they also grew almost all their vegetables, canned, preserved, all those things. And so I've been around it since I was a little girl. My grandmother was just a huge gardener. She spent all her free time out in the garden and would win awards for her garden. And so I've just been around it my whole life. So as I got married and had homes, I would, play with the gardens. I would add perennials and hydrangeas. And one of our homes, I played with having a rose garden and just really experimenting, trying lots of different things. So I grew up in Virginia and then lived on the East Coast until about 10 years into our marriage. My husband's from Texas, and we had an opportunity to go to Texas. So I actually got to garden in Texas for almost 10 years, and it was so fun. I think that's where I really fell in love with succulents and dry, kind of arid climates and dry shade gardens, and just got to explore a lot of things. Unfortunately, I didn't take a lot of pictures of my garden, but I have a couple I'll throw on the screen. So then we moved back east almost 10 years ago, and I've just been gardening more and more and more. So our current property we've been in for 5 years this year. And when we bought it, it was a blank slate. So if you watched my other videos, you probably know I've been designing, restoring, rebuilding, restructuring this garden over the past 5 years. And it has just been so much fun. To have the chance to have a blank space is really amazing. So I think one of my lessons learned is if you buy a home and it already has, garden beds, I think you should stand back and evaluate, is this what you want for your future garden? Or would it be better to tear them out and have a blank slate to look at? I know some of the homes we've had prior, we kind of just lived with the garden structure, and I think it could be really fun and exciting to tear it out if it's not fresh and beautiful, and give yourself a blank slate, and then you can dream and plan and kind of create what you want. So a lesson that I got to experience this past 5 years. So favorite plants and why? I would say from a kind of shrub perspective, I have a couple favorites. One would have to be hydrangeas. I have grown hydrangeas ever since we had our first home. So I used to live way in the south, and we could have the big hydrangeas that get the big blue blooms, the macrophylla. Up in Maryland, those don't do as well because they bloom on old wood. And if we get a frost or a late freeze, you don't get the blooms. So in today's garden, I like the panicle hydrangeas, the ones that bloom on new growth and are just stunning. So hydrangeas are absolutely a favorite. I think other shrub favorites would be things like a 9-bark. I love the dark, rich colors and just the structure that they provide. They have little blooms, but they just add that color and structure that make the back of the border really beautiful. Now, as far as annuals, my all-time favorite are dahlias. So I've been growing dahlias for almost 10 years and I just love them. I love all shapes and sizes. I have grown them in raised beds where I grew about 60 dahlias was probably the max. And then now I'm growing in a little bit smaller scale, and I'm also growing dahlias from seed. Those are probably my ultimate way to grow dahlias. So those are a few of my favorite plants. I also love irises. In the spring, growing up in Virginia, my birthday's in April, and I just always remember the irises. My grandmother loved irises, and so um, the large irises, the little small Siberian. I love them all and think they're absolutely beautiful. So that would definitely be a must-have plant in my garden. All right, so let's pause there and let's flip and talk about my garden shed. So I just recently this winter did a complete refresh on the inside of the shed. I've done a couple refreshes on the outside, and it's just such a sweet little space. So I thought I'd give you a little bit more detail and answer some questions. So first is the size of the shed. So it is 8 by 12. I wish we had done bigger. My husband kept saying we should do bigger. And I said, it's just, originally we bought it for our lawnmowers and garden tools. And he was right. We should have bought a bigger one. So my number one tip would be go a little bigger if you can. I wish we'd probably gone 12 by 12, but you live and you learn, right? So the shed, I think ultimately cost us around 8,000 with delivery. Now this was a long time ago, so I know they've gone up in cost. It was already put together. It was like a prefab. We just had to have the foundation. Now ours is just on a thick, I think it had to be a 4-inch gravel base. And then they just literally brought it on a truck, put it in place, and it was done. So that is an option if you can do that. The other would be to build it on site. So this was just a rough shed. It had barn doors, and then over the past 5 years, we took off the barn doors, we added some extra windows, and then we finished the interior with shiplap. They also insulated it for me. I had someone do that and added some trim to just kind of tighten it all up. It is waterproof. It does have some gaps, and it still has the air vents, which are great in the summer, but I need to find a way kind of to put a shutter on them in the winter because it does give a lot of cold air in there. And then the interior, we just used old wood that we had on our property. We had built the table that I have, the workbench, and I've just had other things in the house that we've brought into this space. So overall, I would say we've probably spent 10 to 11,000 on it total. And I could have had a greenhouse for that, but at the time we just moved into our property. We knew we needed a space to hold all of our like garden tools, and we bought it. Hindsight, I probably would have waited, but we didn't have a garage, and so we just felt like we needed something out there. And it's so adorable. I love it. But yeah, if I had had time to sit on it and think about it, I probably would have just got a shed greenhouse combo or something else. But I enjoy it the way it is, and it's a lot of fun. All right, so let's talk about what's new in my garden this year. So even though it's a small space, I do have some ideas for some projects this year. So first is at the end of last year in October, I added the new raised bed garden. It's just 2 raised beds. One is about 8 feet long and one is 3.5, 4 feet. And I'm so excited to have a space for cut flowers. When I originally built my garden, I had a working cut garden space. I had 4 very large raised beds, and I loved it. I grew things from seed. I had bulbs in there. I had dahlia tubers. It was wonderful. But 4 beds was a lot of work, and I had too many flowers, and I don't want to sell flowers. So I converted that space into garden beds, which I love. And then now I've added the new raised bed space. So I'm excited for this first year in that space and really excited to just get in there and play and have so much fun with it. Now, the second, I guess, real project is back in the shade garden. So I just did a couple videos where I'm going to be taking a dead end kind of space along our fence and maybe converting it into a beautiful shade garden. And I'm actually, while I'm in Charleston, I've been visiting some gardens and I'm collecting lots of great ideas. Ideas about containers and just different things that I want to do in that back space. It is a tiny space. I think it's 8 foot deep, maybe 10 feet across. Doesn't, it's not shabby, but it's not huge. But I'm really excited. I also want to add some more plants to the shade garden. I've had several of you subscribers share with me some plant ideas. So I want to add some more Annabelle hydrangeas. They do great in that garden. Actually had someone mention to me perennial phlox do great actually in partial shade. So there's just some additional plants, and then I've ordered a bunch of plants that I want to try in the space. Now, the next thing in the shade garden is I added a large container. It's like 8 feet long. It's a raised bed box that we had at the end of the driveway. And we're actually going to salvage it and use it in the shade garden. And I want to just fill it to have some height in the shade garden and just add a ton of beautiful, more perennial type plants. So I'm excited about that project. Now, for containers, this year I really want to push myself to try some new things. I have 2 containers that flank our crabapple garden beds. And this year I actually want to do those containers myself. Every year I cheat and I buy a huge put together basket to dump in them. And while that's been fun, I want to challenge myself this year to create my own basket and to just see how it can grow and thrive. So I'm excited to do that project with you this early summer. And then otherwise, in the main garden borders, I'll just be monitoring what plants maybe don't come back from this harsh winter we've had, where I have little pockets, and I am always adding ground cover. So I learned a lesson a long time ago about ground cover, and it is so beneficial in your garden. But often we either get our garden set and we've run out of money, or we move on to other things, or we don't stay in our home long enough to really think about the ground cover element. But adding that beautiful lushness, it retains moisture, it helps with weed control, and there's so many ground cover plants that are beautiful. I have filled my crabapple beds with ground cover, mainly ajuga, and I love it. I hardly have to mulch in that space, and it definitely keeps the weeds back. So my lawn borders are pretty large, but around certain plants and areas that I know are very much prone to weeds from the birds and other plants spreading, I'm definitely going to continue to add ground cover. So the main ground cover I've used is Virginia creeper, and I've used ajuga, all different varieties of ajuga. I just find it works so well in my zone, and there's so many different beautiful colors. So that is something that I will definitely continue to add in the garden. So I've had a question about inspiration for my gardening, and from the start of the video, I'm sure you can tell, it's definitely from my grandmother and my mother. And I have loved the past 10 years being able to garden near my mom. We haven't always lived near each other, and to be able to get her advice, her input, to go plant shopping, she's definitely one of my inspirations. And then I would say I'm inspired by gardens I visited, and I'm actually very inspired by Southern gardens. So I love to come here to Charleston and go visit the different gardens, to walk the streets and see the window boxes and the planters. They are so plentiful here. The hanging baskets, the window boxes, and the container gardening is just plentiful in this area of the country. And so I definitely get inspiration from there. I get inspiration from garden books, and one of my favorite gardeners that I have all her books and I listen to her podcast is Sarah Raven out of the UK. I can't wait to go visit her garden one day, but I just love her organic nature to gardening, her care of plants, her love of plants, and her container ideas, as well as her gardening ideas. So that is a place that I have gained a lot of inspiration as I garden. I'm a member of a little garden club. It's just a little local ladies club. We do books and gardening. We go on gardening visits and walks, and it's just a fun, supportive group. And I didn't have that when I was younger, but I'm really enjoying it, and it's great to get ideas and to be able to show off your garden and to see other friends' gardens and inspiration. So I think that's going to do it for today's Q&A. I really, again, appreciate each and every one of you for supporting my channel, for the likes, the comments, the subscriptions. I am so excited for year 2 of my YouTube journey and year 6 in gardening in my Maryland Zone 7 garden. So I hope to see you out in the garden really soon. And now I'm going to go take a walk in this gorgeous weather. I am soaking it all up. So I hope it's sunny and beautiful where you are, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.